Hey, welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. On this program, you don't want to miss it. Clinical Director Chad Strike is with us. He's also a youth minister in West Little Rock and a foster dad. So don't go away. We'll be back with Chad Strike. Hey, welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. I'm your host, Perry Black, and on this show we have our clinical director, Chad Strike. Chad, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You know, you work in the office above me, and I haven't seen you in about a year since you were on the show the last time.
Yeah, we've been busy, but it's also kind of been a different year.
It has been a different year. Now, Second Chance Youth Ranch, we provide clinical services.
Yes.
I have no idea what does that mean. That sounds like a clinical term. What do we actually provide for our kids in care?
What we do is a lot of our youth that come to us are coming broken. They're coming from real difficult situations, and so we try to do is we bring them in, and then we're surrounding them with support and help to help them get to that next part.
A real support network.
Yes, everything from getting into school, everything to working with the foster parents as far as just with daily, kind of functioning, and then kind of working through the traumas that they've experienced. None of the kids that come to us just from great situations.
Yeah.
They all have had some trauma just for the fact that they're in care.
Yeah. So what kind of training do we provide from your side of the ministry for the foster parents that we support? Do y'all train them on handle with care?
Yes. So we do a number of different trainings with them, everything from looking at attachment, how to develop a good attachment to the kids, everything from working with them as far as recognizing the signs of trauma, everything from them as far as how to do interventions, how to discipline. For a lot of our kids, they've witnessed domestic violence, they've witnessed abuse in the home, they've had neglect. So interacting with them has to be done in a different way. To remove things from them, that's been their life.
So let's kind of explain what happens. A child and their siblings
Yes.
are removed from the home due to some traumatic event, domestic violence or something.
Yes.
And that's traumatic.
Yes.
Then they're brought to a place like Second Chance Youth Ranch.
Yes.
And they're put in a home with people they don't know.
Yeah.
And that has to be traumatic.
Definitely. And for a lot of our kids, that by itself is just really difficult because you're going into a strange home, new rules, new expectations, everything. So that can be very difficult at times.
Yeah, and that is really difficult. Now, the thing that we do provide at the ranch, though, that we're really strongly specializing in now, and that's keeping sibling groups together.
Yes.
Some traumatic events is you get 2, 3, 4, 5 siblings taken out of a home and they're put in several different foster homes, and some of those kids are isolated. We did that for a number of years, but for the past several years we've been really focusing on the sibling groups. But at the same time, you've got a group of 5 or more sometimes, and they're all together. So how quickly does the clinical team come on the scene? Do y'all, even during the admission process?
Yeah,
Tell us how that works.
Even at times during the admission process, we tried to be a part of everything from the very beginning to the very end, just because we know that the families are going to need more support, the kids are going to need more support. There's been a number of situations where we've had siblings that have come to us, siblings as many as 5 or 6 kids that have been spread out, in all different homes.
And for the first time, they're all back under the same roof.
And sometimes that goes well, and sometimes that doesn't go well. Even in our own experiences, our own normal experiences, siblings don't always get along. And so working with them as far as how to relate, how to connect with each other. Unfortunately, a lot of our older kids in the sibling groups have been the moms and dads, and so they are the ones that have parented, disciplined, cooked, bathed.
And now they have an adult in their lives that they may or may not want to acknowledge. So
Yes.
it's filled with difficulty.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's a struggle. And so helping them understand, get a new sense of what family is like and what family means, and how we can help them get to that place where there's a healthy family. And for a lot of our youth, our foster dads are the first positive involved
Male
foster
role model.
dad that they've had in their life.
So it's pretty difficult. How many counselors do we currently have and or need, I guess, on a typical staffing? We have 2 or 3 trained counselors.
There's myself, and we have one other full-time therapist, and then we have another one that is part-time. She gives us a couple days a week.
Yeah.
We're actually in the process of hiring on a full-time therapist. We'll probably be after the first of the year. As we grow and get more foster homes in the community and on our campus, we see that continually
How many
growing.
case managers do we currently have?
We currently have 5 case managers.
And those positions are all filled? We don't have any vacancies
Yes, those
there.
positions are all filled right now. I can see us having more, like we have 2 open foster homes at the ranch. We're looking for foster homes right now. We're getting referrals on a regular basis. I just need parents to be in those homes. If we were to fill those 2 homes, then we may need another case manager.
So what is our response, your response as a professional, when we hear the church or church people, God-loving people, say, oh yeah, those kids, those foster kids, they just need love. They just need Jesus. That's true.
They definitely need Jesus.
What else did they need, Chad?
Well, they need healing.
Yeah.
Just as far as if my daughter gets sick, I pray for her.
Yeah.
But I also take her to somebody that specializes in things to help her heal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I want her to be whole and well. God does that through our prayers, but He also does that through professionals that are helping them to work through those difficult situations to come to a place where they're not as angry, as sad. They're able to function in life.
What are probably some of the most common things that we do deal with our kids? And our kids can be as young now as infants.
Yeah, we have 2-year-olds on our campus right now.
All the way up to the oldest right now, 17 or 18?
Our oldest is, I would say 16, 17-ish right now.
Yeah.
Because
because they're siblings.
Yes.
Now, our youngest, though, is an infant of one of our foster girls. Is that correct?
Well, we actually have in one of our community foster homes, we have a sibling group of 3, and the youngest is a 2-year-old. Okay. And we also do have we have a foster child that has a 2-year-old child. So yes, we have both.
Then we have a foster home in the community, and I think the little guy's probably 5 now.
Yeah.
So in the early years, you and I, we dealt mostly with teenagers, 13 to 18, and all the way up to 20-something years old in some of our transitional program. But now with our sibling groups, which is what I've always wanted, I want them young.
Yeah.
Because I believe the younger you can speak in the lives of young people, the greater impact and the longevity of that impact is so much more effective. Hey, we're going to take a brief break and come back with Chad Strike, our clinical director, and talk more about how you can be involved in changing lives one heart at a time.
A mission field around you is filled with young hearts needing a forever family. And at Second Chance Youth Ranch, our team is committed to providing healthy, stable, loving homes and families to hurting children in the Arkansas foster care system and those up for adoption. Please contact us if you feel the tug at your heart to help foster or adopt, and find out the steps you could take to help fulfill a child's lifelong dream. Maybe you can't foster or adopt, but you could help. The need for thousands of children in the system is staggering. But with the help of faithful partners and business alliances, we are meeting those needs right now. Would you help us make a difference? Every gift, regardless of size, impacts a child's life directly and helps provide for a home in the gap right now. Visit the Second Chance Youth Ranch website at 2CYR.org to read more, watch the stories, and to make a contribution for a hurting child's care. Monthly partners are needed, so please contact us right away. And as you partner with this ministry, you are partnering with the Heavenly Father that has promised to be Father to the fatherless. God bless you for helping Second Chance Youth Ranch.
Hey, welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Our clinical director, Chad Strike, is with us. He's one of at least 3 of our therapists. Then we have 5 case managers. Case managers deal with more of the daily things that work between the school and the foster family, support the foster family, encourage appointment for doctors or counseling or anything else.
Yeah, a lot of our kids come to us with a lot of neglects, a lot of dental neglects, and just they've not had appointments. So when we get kids in, we're a lot of times catching them up on shots, on cleaning, everything.
Just
like
about
that.
anything you would have normally done along
Yes.
the way as they're growing. A lot of our kids, when they arrive, they're kind of behind, and the case managers really help. Now
Yes.
with DCFS, they have a case worker assigned.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't know the difference between caseworker, case manager. But now, as a therapist, all of our clinical team, we are in partnership with Counseling Clinic in Benton.
Yes. Yes, sir.
And the counseling clinic's been a great partner of ours for a long, long, long time. I don't know how we do what we do without them.
No, and really we couldn't. Counseling Clinic has really stepped up and said we want to invest in the lives of kids, and we want to be a part of what Second Chance is doing. And so we've very much valued that relationship.
But we're a faith-based organization, so we get to pray with our young people. So it's not all just about the psyche or psychology.
Yeah.
We are a triune being, spirit, soul, and body, and we believe, and I believe we're proving, that when you deal with the spirit, soul, and the body, you're talking about getting caught up on their shots, going to the dentist appointment, that's the physical part, taking care of them physically, giving them a nice home to live in, a nice family that loves them. That's physical. That also affects the soul. I'm valuable. People care enough to take care of me. And then you guys and your whole staff, that's what y'all really deal with. Is one of our guys mentoring took a young man for a haircut, started mentoring him, eventually adopted him. That young man's now 24 years old.
Yeah.
So it's just being able to be a part of their lives. And then all of our young people and our staff attend a local church. Obviously, those at the ranch attend Family Church in Bryant.
Yeah.
And they're involved in our children's ministry, our teen ministry, our college ministry, and our adult church services.
Yeah.
And almost always, by the time they're here, one or two services, whether it's the teen service and or the adult service, they encounter the love of Jesus Christ, get born again. How does that experience affect you in the ministry of counseling with our young people? Do you see an impact when they get born again?
I think it creates a situation where it's almost like a new beginning. We're new in Christ, and so then we're almost looking in that there's almost a parallel of that as far as in their lives, that we're starting off this new place for them.
Yeah.
And then we can bring that relationship with God alongside their healing process. And there's lots of times that something we're talking about in therapy is something that the children's minister, whether it's Pastor Lance or another child, minister is teaching to them, and we can kind of bring those things alongside, and then they'll take the lessons that they've learned from church and say, that's why I need to do that, because of this story, and because this is something that I've learned at church. And so it really helps kind of really surrounding them with a lot of different factors that can impact their life.
Now, because I pastor Family Church, founded the church, and I founded the ranch, and I founded Arkansas Christian Academy, we've really built a network that really supports them. And any child in our care that wants to attend Arkansas Christian Academy, they get to come.
Yes.
And we get sponsors and scholarships and whatever else the church can do or other believers can do to make that possible. And then there's some scholarships like Succeed scholarships that allow them to attend here. When we have children that attend public school, they're encountering all kinds of stuff that they wouldn't encounter at ACA. So do you see the difference of how they're impacted in public and in the school system and Arkansas Christian Academy?
Yes, for sure. Just even with the fact that our ACA has smaller classroom sizes, there's more individualized care, our contact with the teachers is more steady. It's really kind of a struggle. We love Bryant schools, so we love working with them. But it's definitely, our youth are experiencing a lot of different things on the public school campus that they're not experiencing on this campus.
Yeah, in Benton schools, we've had students attend Benton schools too. We're not anti-public school, but when you're coming into a situation, everything is new, you're already traumatized, we're able to provide this literally 24-hour care where you're surrounded by loving teachers, loving staff, chapel every day. You're on the same campus as your office, and if they're having a need, they're 300 feet from where you work in the office with your team.
Yeah.
And we're able to really bring a cohesiveness to care that few organizations are really able to provide.
Yeah, and that's a big key to us, is when we're able to put that full circle and they're continually surrounded by positive, loving people that want them to heal. It's almost really difficult for them not to make some changes, because it's wherever they go, home, school, church, they're being impacted by it.
Yeah, now let's clarify, because I know all the ooey gooey people out there said, oh, isn't that wonderful? They're surrounded by loving people. Yeah. Hey, we still hold them accountable.
Oh, very much.
You break the rule,
yes.
you're going to eventually end up in my office.
Yeah.
But just because we love them, because we do love them, we hold them accountable. Clear guidelines, clear expectations, accountability, and then there's rewards like there are in any home for doing what's best for you as an individual.
And that's a challenge. That actually, for some of our youth, really motivates them when we sit there and say, okay, no longer are we going to allow you just to go to school. You're going to go to school and actually work. You're actually going to go to school and function. You know, when we actually say, hey, this is what we expect from you, there's some pushback, but then they understand. And then I think the great thing is that they see what they're capable of. And then when they can do it and they're driven to do it, that's when really kind of change becomes easy, because they want to change.
Yeah, I remember early on, I'm not even sure, it's been so long ago that you were on team yet, but we had a couple of handsome young men. I think the oldest just turned 13 when he came. Neither he nor his sibling could read, and we saw them immediately grow, and that's why we do what we do. Yeah. So we're going to take a little bit of a break here, but I want to challenge you. Reach out to us and let us know how we can help you. And we do have job opportunities for foster parents, so I'd love to hear from you, and we'll be right back.
3, 2, 1, go! Yay! Let's go to Cecil.
My name is Kylan.
My name is Kalia. And this is Kajira.
My name's Kanai. My name is Kai J. I could play video games. I like to play outside.
Yeah, we're gonna go right there. 3, 2, 1, yay!
I play basketball with Clea.
I like to watch YouTube and watch Netflix. I like to watch the Babysitters Club on Netflix. And on YouTube, my favorite YouTube channel is Panton Squad. Say, I like to crawl around and make people hold me.
She liked to walk.
3, 2, 1, blast them!
I love that she always wants me to hold her and cuddle with her. I love that Kylan always wants to have a conversation with me, and that he always wants to play a family game with us. I would actually wish for a phone, because I think I'm responsible enough for a phone.
I wish we could go back to our mom and our dad.
We want to find a place where you guys can live together forever and not have to move around or be split up anymore. Is that something that you guys want?
Yes. I want to be together, and I don't like moving different places. I don't like going to different schools, leaving my friends, and all of that. Kanai, what do you want?
I want a good family.
I want a family that keeps me safe and loves me. I want them to know that I may have my times where I misunderstand things and that I sometimes have attitude, but I'm working on it. And my baby sister, Kajira, I want them to know that she's very sweet, and she also wants to cuddle. Thank you. And she also wants to cuddle all the time, and I want them to know that my baby sister also said He's the cutest, sweetest baby in the world. We have our bad times sometimes, but we get through them together. I love everyone.
I love everyone.
Hey, welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. You know, our show, as I always tell you coming back from breaks, they're designed, every show is designed, not scripted, but designed by the Spirit of God to speak to your heart. There are a lot of people that watch this show, a lot of people who watch this show, and they admire what we do, but that's not enough. You know, Jesus kind of said it like this, he that's a doer is the wise person. And you can help us do what God's called us to do. If you really admire seeing lives change and you think we're doing something that's changing lives, why not make a connection with us? Because I do know this, the spiritual principle is when you give to something that's making a difference, you receive a harvest. And that's not always giving money, giving away your time. There's job opportunities, there's mentoring opportunities. Pastor Yuri took a boy for a haircut a few times, had him over to the house a few times. Next thing you know, they've adopted the young guy, 14 years old. So we're not saying that you may adopt someone, but look at the opportunities and the impact. Even if they wouldn't have adopted the young man, they made an impact in his life. And that's what Christianity is. It's living the gospel.
Yes.
And so, Chad, what are some of the opportunities that people do have to be involved from a clinical perspective even?
Well, I think like you said, I think even whether it's mentoring, this last weekend we just had a Mayfly event where we helped some of the kids have their first opportunities learning how to fish. Even simple activities like that.
Now the Mayfly Project, that's actually a group of volunteers that take our students fishing.
Yeah. And teach them how to fly fish.
And you just said some of our kids have never been fishing.
No, we have I have some pictures of little 5 or 6 year olds learning how to fly fish, and it was just amazing, just the smiles and just so even little things like that.
And
even
catching the little fish on the line.
Oh yeah, there was one fish that was about an inch big, but even just helping our kids, even just providing a meal for our foster parents. We have foster homes that have like 6 kids in it.
Yeah.
You know, I know you came from a large family. Yeah. I didn't come from a large family, so that's a lot of kids, and so there's times when you need a little bit of extra help.
Well, there was a time in Jonesboro we had 19 kids at the house, and I always say I don't know why Daddy drank a little bit.
Yeah.
But we had 19 kids, but we could field our own baseball team.
Yes.
But my mom, she didn't have anybody come relieve her. She didn't have a case manager. She didn't have a therapist. She had a DCFS case worker.
She was a true warrior there.
Yeah, and I as a young teenager, I'm rocking 2 babies. You know, it's kids crawling around. I sat here even now, and I don't know where we all slept. I know we had a pull-out couch. I know we had some army cots. We can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But it was very common at my house growing up that if a child was removed from the home for any reason in the middle of the night and that case worker did not know where that child could spend the night, that child ended up on a pallet in our house.
Yeah.
And our house was just an old country house, and my mama had a big heart, and I got infected with it myself.
Yes.
We had 3 young men that were all mentally handicapped. They were brothers. And that's what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. I wasn't even a Christian at the time. I went to church, but I wasn't born again. There's something that you can do. And a lot of times we just don't think I can give enough or there's nothing I can do, but there is something people can do.
Definitely. And I think if they'll just reach out and just inquire and get information about it, it's amazing what God will do when we're just obedient and when we take that step and say, okay, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. I just want to be a part of it. And I think when we do that step, then God directs us as far as what's the next step we need to take.
So they could call 594-5200, 501-594-5200, or they could email us at 2CYR.org, look at our website, and just make a call and say, listen, what can I do for y'all? Something like that might open up a creative idea. You know, when people join the church, I always say, what do you enjoy doing? What's your skill set? What's your ability? I don't want to just take people and plug them in somewhere where there's a need. I want to find out what they're good at, because I guarantee you, if God's equipped you for something, He's given you a gift, a talent, or ability, He wants to give it away through you.
Yeah. And I believe that the church all has a responsibility to be a part of this ministry. Doesn't mean that everybody's going to do the same thing. I mean, there's a lot of different components of what we do, and there's lots of hands in what we do. And so it's really just asking people to, find what's your part in this.
Now, Chad, you're a LCSW.
Yes, sir.
What's that stand for?
Licensed Clinical Social Worker.
Yeah. And I appreciate the fact you've been on staff how many years?
Going on 15 years.
And you have never publicly exposed how desperate I need counseling.
No. We kept it a secret the whole time.
But you're also not just a counselor, but you're also, don't you work with teenagers somewhere?
Yes, I also help at the youth group at Agape Church.
In West Little Rock, over
yeah.
701 Napa Valley, is that right?
And I'm also a foster parent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're fostering now. Now, that's pretty cool. How long have you been doing that?
Since May.
Since May. Now, here's a counselor. This is what you do 24/7. And you just decided, like so many times, it infects you. It affects you, and it infects you with the love of God. And so you're fostering a young person?
A little 10-year-old girl.
A 10-year-old girl, but don't you have some family of your own?
I've got a 21-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 17-year-old.
All at the house?
All at the house.
How are you going to get them out of the house?
Well, I got one that's engaged, so he's leaving hopefully in the next 9 months.
Really?
My oldest is engaged.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So, but I think for us, the reason we decided to foster was really, at the end of the day, I want to do everything that God wants me to do.
Yeah.
I want to be a part of change, and I don't want it to be a situation where I've left anything behind.
Now, you got 3 boys?
2 boys and a girl. My youngest is a girl.
Okay, so now you have, how old is the youngest girl, yours?
17.
And then you've got a
20-year-old son.
And
21-year-old.
And the foster one?
She's 10.
10. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So there are so many opportunities for you to be involved. Sometimes one of our adult Sunday school classes will just take one of our homes, 5 or 6 kids in the foster family, and they go out to eat pizza after church.
Yes.
So many things you can do to change lives. It's not really rocket science.
No.
Loving people is really pretty easy.
Yeah.
Until you get to know them.
Be obedient and just see how you can help.
Yeah, and again, I quote Sir Francis of Assisi, preach the gospel at all times, use words when absolutely necessary. Our kids and people in our communities want to know one thing, is love real? Does anybody know what love is?
Yes, definitely.
Jesus is the answer to the solutions and all the problems that we deal with in life. Thanks for watching Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. We'll see you next time.